It was also the ambition of these idealists to awaken a lethargic and indifferent Irish population to an ideal of freedom. But what came out of that rebellion? The poets and socialists were executed. Finally, after a long struggle, in 1922, Ireland won independence of a sort. The treaty with England, which left a piece of the country still under British domination in the north, was not everybody's idea of an honourable independence. The new Free State had still to live through a civil war. Then 10 years later, led by Eamon de Valera, the Republicans who had been opposed to the treaty came to power, a power they have held almost without interruption to this day. The question now was, what do you do with your revolution once you've got it? It was the hope of the revolutionary generation that Ireland would finally develop a republican form of society.
The kind of society that actually grew up was a society of what I call urbanized peasants. They were a society which was without moral courage, with constantly observing a self-interested silence, never speaking in moments of crisis, and in constant alliance with a completely obscurantist, repressive, regressive, and uncultivated church. The result of all this was that 32, like 22, simply spawned a society utterly alien to the ideas of republicanism, and none of us could be satisfied with it. It went on, and it has gone on almost to this day. A society in which there are blatant inequalities, and in which the whole spirit of 16 has been lost. I often feel that if there's 16 dead men of 1916, before the bullets crashed into them and before the rope tightened on the neck, had they seen the kind of Ireland that would come out of their sacrifice, they would have felt only that their efforts had been betrayed and that their sacrifice had been in vain. One is under no illusions. The Republic is not going to come slowly. It will be the creation of a whole generation, perhaps 2 generations of younger men who will have the courage to speak and who won't be afraid of those sanctions that are continually imposed on them if they do so.
This was the society we who were born in the 30s inherited. We were told that we were the sons and daughters of revolutionary heroes and that our role now was to be one of gratitude, well-behaved gratitude. To criticize the society our old guerrilla fighters had built up was to be a traitor. We were to keep quiet, and they, like jolly but tough old uncles, would take care of us. What they expected from us now was a new kind of heroism, heroic obedience. In the 40s, while Europe was tearing itself to pieces, Ireland, neutral, drifted even further from the reality of the outside world. We weren't even allowed to call it a war. Officially, it was the emergency. For us, a tranquil and serene emergency. The 50s brought a deepening depression, unemployment, emigration, an oppressive sense of frustration. We weren't encouraged to look too closely into what had gone wrong. Whatever had been poetic about our new republic had faded, and there was no longer a trace of socialism.